Good morning. Amnesty International has released its annual report, delivering scathing criticism against the United States, accusing the nation of a systematic assault on human rights. The report, published on April 21, 2026, also does not spare Germany, highlighting significant concerns regarding the German government's human rights record. The human rights organization specifically targets U.S. President Donald Trump, asserting that the first year of his second term has been disastrous. According to Amnesty International, President Trump's administration has engaged in targeted attacks on the justice system, the media, and various minority groups. The activists conclude that the Republican administration in the White House is acting as a dangerous accelerant for a global human rights crisis. This dire assessment emphasizes a profound and systematic attack on fundamental human rights within the United States. Looking beyond specific nations, Amnesty International's report also details how ongoing conflicts, particularly the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, are leading to devastating human rights violations. The global crisis is further exacerbated by the rise of authoritarian practices implemented by governments across the world. The report states that these governments are ruthlessly exercising military force, suppressing peaceful protests, openly disregarding the rule of law, and systematically violating the rights of vulnerable people, creating a pervasive climate of fear and injustice. In a pointed critique directed closer to home, Julia Duchrow, the Secretary General of Amnesty International Germany, spoke during the report's presentation in Berlin. She strongly criticized governments that engage in appeasement rather than actively countering these alarming developments. Ms. Duchrow explicitly included most European Union member states in this condemnation, specifically calling out the German federal government for its approach. According to Amnesty International, the German federal government's foreign policy prioritizes economic and security interests above both international law and the fundamental protection of human rights. Ms. Duchrow described this as a highly problematic stance, arguing that it significantly weakens the international human rights framework and the critical international rules that were carefully established in the aftermath of the Second World War. She powerfully stated that the axe is being laid to these vital institutions and to the very foundation of international law. The comprehensive report serves as a stark reminder of the urgent challenges facing human rights globally. It calls into question the commitment of powerful nations to upholding universal principles, urging governments worldwide to recommit to justice, equality, and the protection of all individuals. The findings from Amnesty International underscore the critical need for vigilance and accountability from both domestic and international actors to safeguard human rights in an increasingly complex world. This has been a summary of Amnesty International's latest report, drawing attention to critical human rights issues both in the United States and Germany. What's your take on Amnesty Slams US for systematic attack criticizes Germany? Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence.